There are now over 30 AI agent frameworks in the market. LangChain, LangGraph, CrewAI, AutoGen, Pydantic AI, small agents. A new one shows up every other week. Most teams I talk to spend weeks evaluating which one to use. They compare syntax, GitHub stars, how fast they can spin up a demo, and then their project stalls. Not because they picked the wrong framework, but because they never thought about everything around the framework. I've seen this across SaaS companies we advise. The framework choice is maybe 15% of what determines whether an agent system works in production. The other 85%, that's what we are covering today. If you are building AI into your product, please subscribe. I share lessons like this every week, and this one could save you months. When an agent project dies, the postmortem almost never says we picked the wrong framework. It almost always says we couldn't connect it to our actual systems. Composio published an analysis of what they called stalled pilot syndrome. Agent projects that demo well but collapses when they meet real infrastructure. They found 3 recurring traps. First, dump RAG. Dumping an entire knowledge base into a vector store with no context curation. Second, brittle connectors, AI integrations that break under production data. And third, the polling tags, no event-driven architecture. So agents burn cycles constantly checking for changes instead of reacting to them. Their core argument, the LLM kernel works fine. What's missing is the operating system around it, something to manage memory, permissions, context, and input-output. So what does the right approach look like? Notion published a breakdown of their AI architecture. Worth studying. They don't use one model for everything. Writing tasks go to high reasoning models. Autofilling project fields goes to fine-tune cost-efficient models. Different jobs, different tools. And the reason it works, their block-based architecture gives AI structured context. A date isn't just text, it's a due date attached to a task, assigned to a person inside a project. That data layer is what makes their agents reliable. The takeaway, map your workflow end to end before picking a framework. Every system, every KPI, every edge case, then choose the tool that fits. LangChain surveyed over 1,300 professionals in late 2025. Only about half ran offline evaluations on their agents. Online evaluation even lower, around 37%. That means a lot of teams are shipping agents with no systematic way to know if they are working. Every time they tweak a prompt or swap a model, they are guessing. The right move, build your evaluation pipeline before you build the agent. GitLab did this with Duo, their AI feature suite. They created an evaluation framework with thousands of ground truth answers. They test against it daily. They also keep smaller proxy datasets for quick iterations. Evaluation isn't a checkpoint at the end. It's infrastructure they run continuously. Cursor did something similar with Composer. They built Cursor Bench, real agent requests from their own engineers, paired with hand-curated optimal solutions. It doesn't just check correctness, it checks whether the agent respects existing code abstractions and engineering practices. The principle is simple. Define what success looks like for your use case. Build golden test cases. Set assertions. Test every change before it ships. If your agent cannot pass your test, it's just an expensive wrapper around an API call. Evaluation tells you whether your agent works before deployment. Observability tells you whether it's still working after. Among teams with agents already in production, 94% have some form of observability in place. That's from LangChain survey. The people who have shipped agents know that you need to see inside the system. But there's a difference between having observability and having useful observability. Mariam Ashuri from IBM, who leads their AI governance efforts, framed it well. A hallucination at the model layer is an inconvenience. The hallucination at the agent layer, where the system acts on that bad output, becomes an operational failure. The model picks the wrong tool. That tool accesses data it shouldn't. Now you have a data leak. What does useful observability look like? Full tracing of every tool call, every decision path, every API response. The ability to replay a conversation and understand why the agent chose one path over another. Latency tracking, cost tracking, anomaly detection. Accenture's Knowledge Assistant platform is a good reference. Multimodal architecture on AWS, real-time processing paired with robust monitoring. That combination helped them cut new hire training time by 50% and reduce query escalation by 40%. The monitoring isn't a nice to have, it's what lets them iterate with confidence. This connects everything I have been saying. The biggest trap is building a general purpose agent platform before you have automated a single workflow. I see it constantly. Teams pick multi-agent frameworks because they sound impressive. 3 specialized agents, an orchestrator passing context between them, beautiful architecture diagrams, and nothing ships for months. Because the underlying task could have been handled by one well-prompted LLM with good RAG and a structured output template. Google's AI agent playbook addresses this directly. They outline 4 layers: model selection, tools integration, orchestration, and production runtime. But the emphasis isn't on building all 4 at once, it's on providing one end-to-end workflow before expanding. The Composio team puts it bluntly: if your plan is to vectorize the wiki and see what happens, stop. Pick one high-value workflow instead. Once that single workflow runs with proper integration, evaluation, observability, and clear boundaries, then you have earned the right to expand. You have a template, an eval pipeline. You know what production actually demands. Going from one workflow to 5 is a completely different problem than going from 0 to 1. So the startups succeeding with AI agents aren't the ones with fanciest multi-agent setups. They picked one valuable workflow, built integration first, invested in evaluation before writing agent logic, made observability non-negotiable, and scoped their ambitions to what they could actually ship. If you're evaluating agent frameworks right now, pause. Ask yourself 3 questions. What workflow does this solve? How will I measure success? And what happens when the agent gets it wrong? If you can answer this clearly, you are ahead of most. Please subscribe if you found this video useful. I share such videos every week for builders like you. Thank you for watching.